welcome to That's Entertainment, the weekly show where we look back at last week's entertainment news this week. As you can see, I'm once again not Ben. He's travelling, so I've been asked to step out of the back room and read the words I've written. My name's Nick. This week, we're taking a look at some of the latest news reports and stats from streaming and TV. Rapid TV News picked up on a series of reports that all seem to tell the same story. According to the Leichtman Research Group, leading US pay TV providers lost almost 2 million subscribers in the first quarter of the year. It seems this decline is pretty much the norm these days. Those providers also lost 1.91 million subs in Q1 21 and 1.96 million in Q1 2020. But it hasn't all been bad news this year. According to Nielsen, April 2022 saw streaming in the US account for more than 30% of total TV usage for the first time. So perhaps not surprisingly, broadcast and cable usage saw a decrease in viewing by 3% and 2.5% respectively. And as Deadline Hollywood pointed out, for the first time, HBO Max reached 1% of the viewership pie. A long way from Netflix 6.6, but a mark of achievement for the 2-year-old service. Conviva's latest State of Streaming report also highlighted further growth, both in the US and overseas. Global streaming grew 10% during the first quarter of 2022. Africa and Oceania grew by about 50%, and South America by 34%. Europe and North America were more closely aligned with global growth, with 9% and 5% increases respectively. As the report summarized, while more saturated markets like North America and Europe are starting to stabilize, there are still plenty of growth opportunities throughout the world. Conviva also gave an insight into how people's viewing habits are evolving, revealing impressive growth in smart TV and mobile phone usage. There was also a decline in desktop views, and perhaps more surprisingly, a similar drop in the number of viewers watching streaming content via a games console. In conclusion, Conviva President and CEO Keith Zubchevich said, despite recent news of Netflix subscriber contraction, streaming continues to grow worldwide, encompassing an ever-growing stable of platforms offering unique and original content. In mature markets, like the US and Europe, viewers are upscreening from small devices to smart TVs, setting the foundation for streaming to overtake linear TV on its big screen. The world's most popular streaming service continued to generate headlines amongst trade publications and online. TV Rev's David Bloom pointed out that research firm Antenna reported that Netflix is seeing substantially higher churn among previously loyal subscribers. Among those who subscribed for at least 3 years, cancellations jumped from 5% to 13% in the first quarter of 2022. High churn has been the bane of Netflix's many competitors, but has traditionally been far lower for Big Red. Meanwhile, Deadline Hollywood reported that Netflix cost-cutting continues with a loss of 150 jobs. They're largely based in the US, with a significant proportion in creative across both film and TV, sources said, with a couple of director-level original series execs rumored to be leaving. Variety also pointed out that in addition to the layoff of 150 full-time employees, Netflix is eliminating about 70 part-time jobs in its animation studio and is also cutting freelance roles in its social media and publishing group. However, Variety also picked up on a more positive Netflix story, which once again highlights the growing global importance of non-English language content. Netflix will build on its work to date to make its global originals catalog available in a broad range of languages, no matter where the film or show was locally made, starting with French, Spanish, Portuguese, German, and Italian subtitles, and expanding from there to Asian languages, including Korean and Japanese, as well as European local languages. Disney Plus were also in the news this week, as details of their plans for a cheaper, partially ad-funded subscription tier began to emerge. President for ad sales, Rita Ferro, revealed that Disney Plus will have fewer commercials than Hulu. Their plan is to start slow with 15 and 30-second spots, mainly because about 65% of subscribers coming to the streaming service are there for movies, which don't lend themselves to commercial interruption. Disney CFO Christine McCarthy pointed out that Disney-owned streaming platform Hulu has around 70% of its users on an ad-supported plan. We expect about the same percentage for both Disney Plus and Hulu, just based on the experience curve that we've witnessed. With both Disney and Netflix set to join those streaming services offering ad-funded content, It came as no great surprise to see that a new report from Digital TV Research predicts the following. AVOD revenue for TV series and movies will reach $70 billion in 2027, up from $33 billion in 2021. And 13 territories are expected to generate more than $1 billion each by 2027, a significant growth on the 5 that achieved that in 2021. However, according to Simon Murray, principal analyst at Digital TV Research, the US will account for 46% of the global total by 2027, up from 39% in 2021. US AVOD will grow by $19 billion to $31 billion, as it remains the largest country by far. That's it for me. Thanks for watching the show. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And I'm sure Ben will see you again very soon.